Let's talk about why your wavy curly hair routine isn't working and what to do about it. Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're brand new here, hi, my name's Courtney and I love talking all things wavy curly hair science and getting the absolute healthiest hair of your life. Now in this video, I may sound a bit like a broken record. If you've been hanging out with me here on this channel for quite a long time, you will have heard some of these tips and tricks before, but lately I am starting to see more and more people talk about these specific things to help improve your hair health, and I just thought I would chime back in and reiterate all the fine-tuned details that you may have started overlooking or that you may not have ever even thought about before that will make a massive difference in the health of your hair and improve your wavy curly wash days. Let me start off by saying that you can absolutely buy the best wavy curly hair products on the planet, but if you are not using them correctly, you're still gonna have trash wash days. In caring for your waves and curls, precision matters. Even application matters. Consistency matters. The first thing that you may be missing in your hair care routine is a pre-shampoo oil treatment. This has recently become wildly popular. I am seeing so many people now doing this, and this is a thing that I have been talking about for nearly 8 years at this point. And I'm actually really happy that it is now gaining such popularity. I personally like using a slightly heavier oil when I do this. Something that has some castor seed oil in it, maybe some coconut oil in it. I do tend to like refraining from using a silicone heavy oil as my pre-shampoo oil treatment. I find that when they're silicone free and contain some penetrating oils, they tend to go into the hair a little bit better. They tend to protect the hair more than when I use a silicone heavy oil. Those silicone heavy oils tend to just sit on top of my hair. And while that does lend some protection, I find that I like silicone free hair oil options a little bit better for what I'm going for here. I like to grab a decent amount of this product, but not so much that my hair looks super greasy. I do rub my hands together, make sure that my hands are very evenly coated, and then I finger comb that through my mid-lengths to ends, really taking my time and being very intentional about how I apply this oil to my hair. I will do this absolutely in sections to make sure that I can really feel where I'm getting the oil and making sure that no spots are missed. Once I've got all that oil put in my hair the way I like, nice and even, super even distribution, I will put my hair up into a low ponytail or a messy bun on top of my head or a jaw clip, or I'll braid it, and I will leave it in my hair from anywhere from 30 minutes to a few hours. I've even done this overnight. Next thing that may be wrecking your wavy curly wash day is you are not cleansing your hair properly. I know, it is deeply ingrained in everybody's wavy curly hair soul that somehow we are supposed to use cleansing conditioners to wash our hair. And while there are really fantastic cleansing conditioners out there on the market, and there are people out there who use solely cleansing creams or cleansing conditioners or no poo products, that's no shampoo, no poo products, to wash their hair, and they're fine, I would say that those people are absolutely in the minority, and that the majority of people that I have run across, and most people that I know, I guess that includes the people that I run across. Anyway, most other humans do way better when they are using something that foams and suds and bubbles to wash their hair with. And 9 times out of 10, we are not using a shampoo that has enough cleansing power for our scalps. Guys, if your wavy curly hair routine was working for you really well, and then every wash day thereafter, you're doing everything exactly the same, but your wash days just keep consistently getting worse and worse and worse, there's a good chance that your products are building up on your hair. Now, that is easily fixed with a really good clarify and deep condition session, but it could also be easily fixed by swapping out your shampoo for one that is slightly more cleansing. I like using products that say clarifying, but that are sulfate, silicone, and drying alcohol free. I personally do like silicones in certain steps of my routine, but not in my washing portion. So we're going to cleanse our scalp very intentionally. And I personally tend to wash my hair upside down. One, for filming purposes. I have filmed in my shower before, but my goodness, guys, that gets cold. I have to leave the door open so that y'all can see. It's kind of hard to film through the glass. So the door's open, I'm wet, in a swimsuit, filming because we're not filming without a swimsuit here on this channel. And it's just cold. So I wash my hair upside down over my tub. Most times I am filming so that I can show you what I'm doing, but I've got a secret for y'all. I actually do wash my hair upside down even when I'm not filming, even when I'm just in the shower washing my hair. Why do I do that? Well, when I hang my head upside down, my hair is off of my scalp. And when my hair is off of my scalp, it gives me access to my head, to my scalp, and I can apply shampoo directly to my scalp and really massage every square corner of my hair. I have said this for years, and I have encouraged hundreds of curl coaching clients to do this as well. But I know that we all have one of these. In theory, we all have one of these. And for whatever reason, we can't be parted with them for longer than 10 seconds. They tend to come with us everywhere, which means you brought it with you into the bathroom. Here's what I want you to do. When you start washing your hair, I want you to yell at your phone and say, "Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes." And I want you to scrub your scalp with the pads of your fingers for 5 minutes while you're shampooing. You will realize after about 20 seconds that you have been blasting through your shampoo routine. You have not been thoroughly and intentionally cleansing your scalp. Now, what I want you to do is shampoo twice. No, you don't have to set a timer for the second cleanse, but we're doing the 5-minute timer for the first cleanse for the sake of getting you to pay attention, to slow down. I promise my wavy curly wash days do not take me 10 hours, but I am talking through each of these steps very slowly and very intentionally. So it may seem like a lot, but just know that I can do this from start to finish in about 30 minutes. It does not take 2 hours. It does not take an hour even. 30 minutes and my hair is freshly washed and styled and cleansed. Now I'm going to shampoo my hair twice. Why am I doing that? Again, it's for intentionality's sake. I'm not sure where the idea originated that says that the first cleanse is removing the buildup and the second cleanse is actually cleaning. There was a time period on the internet when lots of people were debunking that, saying you did not have to double cleanse, that it was simply a waste of shampoo. I personally disagree. The second cleanse, if you haven't ever double cleansed, I would encourage you to try it because there's this really cool feeling that happens on that second cleanse. You can feel the shampoo spreading quicker all over your scalp. Also, you may take this time, now that you've cleansed your hair once, it perhaps will be easier to part your hair and section it. Directly apply shampoo to the innermost core, the innermost soul being of your hair. Get those sections and corners of your scalp that were covered with hair, whether you're shampooing right side up or upside down. Make sure to part that hair and directly apply shampoo to those nooks and crannies that may have gotten missed, and then thoroughly cleanse one more time. How you rinse your shampoo can also be affecting your wavy curly wash days. This is not a quick 10-second rinse. This is an intentional rinsing process. Make sure when you're rinsing the shampoo out of your hair, you're scrubbing your scalp with the pads of your fingers. Why?
That moves the hair out of the way and allows the water to rinse down through your scalp and grab all of that shampoo and rinse all of the shampoo that has grabbed the goo off of your hair down the drain. Scrubbing your scalp with the pads of your fingers while you rinse ensures that all that shampoo residue goes down the drain. I said it twice, just to be nice.
Now that we've double cleansed, it is time to condition. And I alternate, honestly, between using deep conditioners and regular rinse out conditioners. But how you use whichever product you have decided to use for that wash day, make sure you are using enough conditioner. A lot of issues happen when people under condition. Also, having too much water in your hair when you go to condition your hair can cause the conditioner to rinse out of your hair, like just bloop, go straight down the drain, and then you don't have an adequate concentration of conditioner in your hair. Also, I hear a lot of people sharing this tip on the internet, and I vehemently disagree with this. For years, I've been saying you need to add water to your hair before you put conditioner in. And that's because when most people rinse their shampoo completely out of their hair, they're like wringing their hair out completely bone dry, like they're trying to squeeze out all of the shampoo. You don't have to do that. You squeeze a medium amount of water out of your hair. That way, when you apply the conditioner to it, it evenly distributes. I never finished my thought. Love that for me. Love that for you guys. Y'all are sitting here watching this. When people squeeze their hair out really, really bone dry, there's this thought process going around on the internet that if there's less water in your hair, your conditioner's going to work better because it's in a higher concentration. No, my friends, no, it's not. What that's going to mean is that there's dry spots on your hair, and now there's no water to open up that hair cuticle and allow that deep conditioner or rinse out conditioner to penetrate into the hair or evenly distribute through the hair. You can't get the conditioner evenly distributed when the hair is too dry. So not too much water, not too little water, medium amount of water in the hair, okay?
All right. When you start applying that deep conditioner to your hair or rinse out conditioner to your hair, start at the mid-lengths to ends because those areas tend to be like the most tangly, like mids to ends. So first layer, good layer of conditioner there. Then start finger detangling. We all wavy curlies know that we need to detangle our hair in the shower when there's lots of conditioner in our hair. It's the easiest, most gentle way there is to remove all the tangles from the hair. So really be intentional and slow with your finger detangling process.
Now, I know the temptation to immediately reach for and grab the brush. It's there, I get it, I'm impatient. That can be a bit of a hair health hazard. That's because when the hair is wet, it is more fragile. And yes, we did put some conditioner in our hair, but another thing I see people doing all over the internet is glopping on their conditioner and then immediately grabbing a brush and trying to rip through tangles. Maybe they're rage baiting me, I don't know, but I cringe so hard every time I see somebody ripping through their super beautiful curly hair with a brush with conditioner. Please don't do that. Take the time, invest in your hair health, finger detangle first. Why? Because we can feel with our fingers. You can't feel with the brush. So when you're feeling where those tangles are with your fingers, you can either gently unravel them or add a little bit more water to the knot. Sometimes that will help the tangles slip right out, or you can add a little bit more conditioner to that spot. Maybe you feel a spot where you flat missed putting conditioner on your hair. That is why we finger detangle first, so that we can intentionally condition our hair.
Once you have thoroughly finger detangled, the knots are 99% gone out of your hair and the conditioner is pretty well distributed, then you can grab the brush and finish distributing the conditioner through your hair. You're not using the brush to detangle so much as you are using it as a distribution tool for your conditioner. Once we have really well brushed that through our hair from root to tip, You can see the saturation of product in my hair. I'm using a lot of conditioner there, and it is really evenly distributed through my hair.
Also, PS, you don't have to be concerned about putting conditioner near your roots. Here you go. Exhibit A, do my roots look greasy to you? Is that greasy, or are they just fluffy, shiny, and clean? My hair doesn't feel weighed down. My hair is getting longer, so volume is becoming more and more of an issue for me, but my hair isn't weighed down. It's not greasy. When you condition your hair from root to tip with a silicone-free deep conditioner or rinse out conditioner, it conditions your hair shaft from root to tip. I understand why we're not conditioning our roots when we're using silicone heavy masks, conditioners, glosses, all of that jazz. That's too much. That silicone will make your roots look greasy every single time. Ask me how I know. I am a greasy goose. Can we see the oiliness on Courtney's face? That is not a glow primer or anything, guys. That is just my skin. I am very greasy. I am very oily. So my hair tends to be very greasy and very oily. You can put deep conditioner near your roots. You can put conditioner near your roots. It's not going to make you greasy. It's not going to. But what it will do is it will actually help with your halo frizz or your new growth. If you have some lovely new growth that you are wanting to nurture and nourish and care for and love on, why not condition it so that it has the best chance to grow out to the full length of your hair? We all want that. We want our new growth babies to make it all the way to hair adulthood down here. But they can't do it if they're dry and brittle and only ever being shampooed. They're going to be naked and stripped and sad. But if we condition them, then they're clothed and nourished and comforted and cared for and can grow out nice and long. Does that make sense? Comment down below with a thumbs up emoji if that made sense to you. Now that we've got that conditioner thoroughly in our hair, you could leave it in your hair for a few minutes, whichever conditioner or mask that you're using. If the instructions on the back of the bottle say leave on for 5 minutes, you are welcome to do that while you do the rest of your shower things or your bathtub things. I've stopped leaving conditioner in my hair for an extended period of time. Shocker, I know. When I find that I really adequately condition my hair, I'm finger detangling thoroughly, I'm brushing it through very intentionally and gently, I can rinse it out immediately and my hair stays adequately conditioned. So you don't necessarily have to leave it in your hair for copious amounts of time. You can if you want, if that makes you feel better.
I go ahead and I rinse it out immediately. Again, being super intentional with how I rinse that out of my hair. I'm not just doing a 10-second rinse and calling it good. No, I am scrubbing my scalp with the pads of my fingers, turning my head from side to side to side while I'm upside down because I wash my hair upside down. You don't have to do that. Just make sure to turn your head from side to side while you're in the shower, scrubbing your scalp with the pads of your fingers, making sure that all of that conditioner is rinsed out.
You will have greasy roots if you leave conditioner in your hair because you didn't take the time to thoroughly rinse it out. That will give you greasy roots by putting conditioner on your roots. But if you rinse it out well, you won't have that issue. Another thing that may be causing you some wavy curly hair woes is not using measured amounts of leave-in, leave-on products. That includes your leave-in conditioners, your curl creams, your gels, your foams, your mousses, your curl enhancers. If you aren't measuring the amount of product that you are leaving on your hair, you will not get consistent wavy curly wash days.
We love it when our leave-in conditioner has a spray pump because we can count the number of pumps. Noting down the amount of product that you're using and leaving on your hair can be such a game changer when it comes to getting consistent wash days and really figuring out and learning what works for your hair and what doesn't. I apply my leave-in conditioner very similar to how I apply my rinse out conditioners and my masks. I finger comb it through. Now, at this time, my hair is thoroughly finger detangled, so this is more of just building good habits by doing things consistently. So if it's a conditioning product, I finger comb it through. Once I feel no more tangles and fairly even distribution of the product, then I brush it through really nice and evenly from root to tip. Then I go in with another conditioning product. If I am using a conditioning product that is in a tube like this, I will measure it. And you can see here that I'm using about half a teaspoon of this curl cream, being very careful how I measure it and how I scoop it out of the half teaspoon measure, making sure that I am getting exactly what I measured out. Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but I promise once you've done this enough times, you get a really good feel for what half a teaspoon is, for what a quarter teaspoon is, depending on what your hair likes and needs.
Little side note right here. I couldn't find my little quarter teaspoon measurer today, and I kind of wish I had, because for the sake of this video, I wanted to very clearly demonstrate that I was measuring the amount of curl cream that I was putting in my hair, and I needed less. This is a little too much curl cream for today on this wash day. It made my hair a little bit overly soft. I've known for a long time that my hair does better when I use less curl cream, so my bad for today. But I'm not too mad, because currently right now here in Texas, my goodness, it is cold, and my hair probably needed the extra conditioning because of the weather. This weather is dry and cold, and there is no moisture in the air. So little extra conditioning for my hair made it feel really nice. I cannot tell you how good and lightweight my hair feels right now. It's just slightly over conditioned. Anyway, measuring the amount of product that you're leaving in your hair makes a huge difference. So even though I use slightly too much curl cream today, we're gonna move past that. You get the idea. Measuring makes a difference. Applying that the same way, we're keeping consistency here. Are you seeing a pattern? We're finger combing that conditioning product through, then we brush it through for really even distribution.
Now let's talk about brush styling. You need to figure out a brush styling routine that you can do and repeat consistently. I don't care if you are upright brush styling and that's how you can get the most consistent brush styling results, or if you're using something like my swing curl clump method, where we are really brushing the hair upside down, pushing the hair away from your face. I like to do this when I'm upside down. It keeps my hair from falling directly into my face when I flip my hair right side up. Then I really turn my head to the side and brush the hair off the sides and back of my neck. I roll my head around and I do the other side, really brushing the hair off the side and back of my neck. And then I add a little brush styling section right at my crown. This is something that I can do super consistently.
Also, when I'm upside down, my curl clumps are hanging in my face, and I can actually see what they're looking like. If they're looking a little stringy, if they're looking like they're too juicy, if your curl clumps are too big, they'll actually weigh themselves down.
On this particular day, because of how dry and cold it is, I needed to add a little bit more water to my hair and scrunch and pulse and scrunch to activate my waves and curls, taking another look at them, seeing that they now look way better. The wet frizz has now absorbed back into my hair because I added some more water. And in my swing curl clump method, I will stand up and shake the hair off the back of my head and then swing down and around and kind of let my head roll down and around so that I can swing my hair all together. This kind of shakes all of my curl clumps into their natural curl families, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. Stand up, shake the hair off the back of my head and swing down and around to the other side. Let my hair all swing together so that all of my curl clumps kind of shake into their natural curl families. All right, now let me show you exactly how I get a really even, consistent gel application. Again, we're going to measure the amount of product that we're using. Here I'm using a teaspoon amount of gel, of my first gel. I like using a really nice moisturizing conditioning gel first, and then reaching for my nice stronghold, maybe more drying gel second. So I get my measured amount of gel and I'm going to really rub my hands together making sure that that is super evenly spread over my palms. Then I'm going to glaze that on the back of my head very evenly and smoothly. My hands are just barely touching my hair as I glaze my hair like I'm a donut. Glazed donuts are the best. You cannot change my mind. Then I'm going to take my hands and flip them over and glaze the underneath side of my hair. Next, I'm going to turn my head to the side and glaze the back and sides of my hair. Going to glaze the other side and back of my hair, rolling my head like so that I don't disturb my curl clumps. Once that is very evenly glazed over my hair, I'm going to scrunch and pulse that gel into every single curl clump on my head. If you are finding that you consistently have a corner of your head that does not wave or curl the same as the rest of your hair, or it gets floofy and frizzy and loses definition faster,
9 times out of 10, that is because it didn't get an adequate application of gel and you didn't scrunch and pulse your product into that section. When you're scrunching and pulsing, it's swooshing the water that is in your hair around in each of the curl clumps. And guess what? Water is a carrying agent. It's going to grab that gel and pull it deep inside each and every single curl clump. This is why applying product on super damp hair can make getting a super even product application really tricky. So you don't want too much water in your hair. But 9 times out of 10, I think people aren't using enough water when they're applying gel to their hair. Like, you need to add some more water to your hair, and about 52% of your curly hair problems will immediately vanish. That's an accurate stat. Just kidding. No, it's not. I made it up.
Now we're going to do the same thing again with a stronghold gel, getting a measured, even amount of gel here. I'm grabbing another teaspoon, carefully pulling that out, rubbing my hands together to get that gel super evenly distributed over my hands. I'm going to glaze the top part of my head. I'm going to glaze the underneath section. I'm going to turn my head to the side and glaze the sides and back of my head. Turn my head the other way, glaze the sides and back of my head. And you guessed it, scrunch and pulse and scrunch that gel very evenly into my hair, making sure to scrunch in the front, turning my head to the side and really scrunching the sides and back of my head. And then doing the same thing again on the other side, turning my head the other way, scrunching the sides and back of my head, really pulsing and scrunching all the way to my roots. If you want definition all the way to your roots, you gotta scrunch all the way to your roots.
Next thing that may be wrecking your wavy curly wash day is when you go to plop your hair, you have already had the weight of the water elongate your waves and curls. This tends to be more of an issue for finer haired individuals or people who have a looser curl pattern. Water is heavy and it will stretch out your waves and curls, but we need the water in order to get the product to distribute and to get our curl clumps their juiciest selves.
So before you plop your hair, make sure to scrunch your hair one more time. Reactivate those waves and curls before plopping them down in the towel, because when we plop our hair, it kind of starts freezing our curl pattern into place. So if you want elongated curls, plop your hair for elongation. If you want curl enhancement and shrinkage, scrunch your hair one more time before plopping.
Another mistake I see a lot of people making is they leave their plop on for hours. Why are y'all doing that? I don't understand. You don't need to leave your plop on for that long. You need to leave your plop on long enough to either put on some makeup or get dressed, and that's it. 30 minutes is probably too long. 10 minutes is the sweet spot. Do 10-minute plop.
When you take your plop off, do one more scrunch with that towel. This is called a micro plop. I heard of this term a long time ago. I think I heard it in 2018, and it's perfect. It's a perfect explanation for what this is. You are only micro plopping your hair, basically just scrunching out a little bit excess water in product. And again, reactivating some waves and curls.
Another mistake I see people making is how they diffuse their hair. They go straight into Pixie Diffusing and they Pixie Diffuse aggressively. They whack their hair with that diffuser like they're trying to punish it or something. Let's not do that. Start off your first 5 minutes of diffusing by hammock diffusing.
What you do is you place your dryer on your countertop and then take the wet part of your towel and scoop up your curls. Just pretend like you're an elevator and you're elevating, lifting up all of your curls, holding them gently and lovingly in their most curl enhanced positions while you let the air circulate only on your roots. Turn your head to the side, pick up your curls, diffuse the front and sides and back of one side of your head. Guess what? You're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Gently elevate your curls, diffuse the front and sides and back of your hair. Once you've done that for roughly 5 minutes, then you can kind of stand up. And again, we're going to hover diffuse. So pick up your curls again with the wet part of the towel and start diffusing more than just the roots. You're gonna get the mid-lengths and ends, but hover diffuse for roughly 5 minutes. Do this all over your head.
Don't just do it in one side. Do it everywhere. Gently upside down, maybe you're doing a little bit right here. You're doing this side. You're really reaching around in the back as far as you can. Hover diffuse all corners of your hair. Hey, don't forget the underneath part right there. We gotta hover diffuse there too, and there too. Once you've finished hover diffusing, then you can move on to pixie diffusing. I forgot to mention, while we are putting the dryer on the counter and while we're hover diffusing, so both hammock diffusing and hover diffusing, you can use high heat and high speed. Why? Because the dryer is not in contact with your curls. That high heat is not touching you. If it's not touching your hair, it's not gonna cook your hair. That is one reason that you can use bond repair for curly hair, and there can be some benefit, but honestly, you don't need to layer all the bond repair on the curly hair. You can throw in a bond repair treatment, once in a blue moon, once a month, once every couple of months, but you don't necessarily need to be using massive amounts of bond repair every single wash day if you have a solid wavy curly hair routine, because we are not using heat to style our hair. We are diffusing our hair, but we're being smart about how we're diffusing our hair. We also have so few damaging hair practices when we're embracing our waves and curls. That's why I get asked about bond repair a lot. Like, how much bond repair do I need? How many steps in my routine do I need to be incorporating bond repair? And I'm like, guys, what are y'all doing to your hair? Are y'all going bananas with it? Like, what is happening that you feel like you have to use so much bond repair? There is one instance where I could see somebody embracing their waves and curls and needing all the bond repair, and that would be somebody who has a platinum card. Somebody who has bleached every single strand of hair on their head or gotten really heavy highlights. Then you're gonna need bond repair in multiple steps of your wavy curly hair routine to help get your hair to bounce back. But if you aren't highlighting your hair, if you're coloring your hair, you won't need it as badly as somebody who has bleached their hair to the heavens. Ask me how I know. I bleached my hair to the heavens a couple of years ago. It was a mistake. I went back to my natural hair color as fast as I could, and my life got a lot easier. When your hair is super bleached and you're trying to do the wavy curly hair thing, it will make your life a lot harder. But if you're coloring your hair, you will still need more bond repair than somebody who's not coloring their hair, but you won't need it as much as somebody who has bleached their hair quite a bit. When you go to the last 5 minutes of your diffusing routine, you're going to pixie diffuse. Because the diffuser is in contact with your hair, you will need to turn the dryer down to warm, at least, if not lower, depending on your dryer. And for pixie diffusing, you're gonna turn off your dryer, scoop your curls, turn on the dryer, let it sit from anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, turn off the dryer, drop it, scoop some more curls, turn on the dryer, let it sit, turn off the dryer, drop the dryer down. The last thing that could be going sideways in your wavy curly hair routine is how you are scrunching out the crunch. For years, I did not like using an oil to scrunch out the crunch because every single oil that I used felt too heavy, but I have finally found a few lightweight oils that I love throwing into my rotation. And the trick to this is using less. More is not more in this instance. Less is more when you're using an oil to scrunch out the crunch. Also, how you scrunch out the crunch really matters.
So get a tiny amount of oil, really smooth it over your hands, flip your head upside down, especially if you styled your hair upside down, but even if you didn't, flip your head upside down, glaze this on, and scrunch and pulse that oil into your hair. I had a friend actually at cosmetology school tell me to do this.
I hadn't done it this way in years. I had just always kind of been more aggressive with my scrunch out the crunch. And she's like, why are you being so aggressive? Just scrunch and pulse the cast out. I was like, that's silly. It's not going to work. It worked. It's a much more gentle way to break the cast. And for fragile curl clumps or curl families who don't want to be families, it helps keep your curls together and minimizes frizz. So scrunching and pulsing out the cast can make a huge difference.
Then when you're ready, you can flip your head right side up and really fluff out your roots to organize them and put them exactly where you want them. The bottom line with all of this is it's 9 times out of 10, not the products that you are using that are failing you. It is your application technique. It is the lack of intention
and the speed at which you are going through your wash day. You're just throwing some gel in your hair and scrunching it, and you're diffusing like a mad woman, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best results. And when you don't get the results that you wanted, you blame the product and not necessarily your application technique. I know that this video wasn't super short, but there's a reason for that. We are going through each and every single step very slowly and very intentionally so that you can see the level of precision that you are using in a wash day. Now, there are some instances where maybe you're using a shampoo that's not cleansing enough, or you're using a conditioner that's too lightweight or too overly conditioning. You're using a curl cream when your hair doesn't like curl creams. I did that today. My hair's a little weighed down, but I'm the exception, not the rule. A lot of people's hair does really well when using curl creams. Perhaps you're using a gel that doesn't have enough hold. There are some things that can be tweaked, but most of that can be tweaked and fixed by measuring your product amounts, adjusting product amounts just with what you already have in your cabinet, and slowing down and being intentional. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I sure hope you found it helpful. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you would give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Maybe even share it in your favorite curly hair Facebook group. Those things really do help out my channel, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below one thing that really stood out to you today. Like, what was the one light bulb moment that you had while watching this video, if you had one? If not, what is one thing that you wish I would have dove deeper into this video? What was a topic that was sorely lacking from reasons your wavy curly wash days aren't working for you? As always, I sure hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!